few racks. Open up to page 840. In the Gospel of that was proclaimed by St. Matthew, the 8th chapter, the 28th verse reads, "At that time when Jesus came to the other side, to this country of the Gergesenes, two Gergesenes met him, coming out of the tomb so fierce that no one could pass that way. They were the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit." You know, the Bible uses very fancy language. And when I don't understand a word, well, it used to be I would look it up in the dictionary, but we don't have to do that anymore because now we have Google. I just Google the word to find out what it means. What exactly are demonics? They are people that are controlled by demons. This man here was under the control of the demons. Now, in our society today, if someone acts crazy, we take them to a hospital, we Baker-act them, give them shock treatments. I don't know if you know this or not, but the lady who lives with her husband, Philip, his mother was given shock treatments and almost killed her because they didn't know any better those days. So when somebody appears to be crazy, we always do something physical to them. But if the problem is spiritual, then all the physical is going to do nada. It's going to not help at all. It's only going to make it worse. So Jesus knew that this man was possessed of these demons. And you might say, well, Father, you know, that's 2,000 years ago. We don't have demons anymore. You really believe it? You really think there are no demons? Did you know that every person born in this world, every person born is given a demon by the devil? Everyone. Whether they like it or not, the next word, everyone has a demon. I have a demon, you have a demon, we all have demons. They're our own personal demon. But thank God, when we're baptized, we receive a guardian angel as well as the protection of the saint that we have taken as our patron saint. So these demons are constantly, they're always working on us. You might think, oh, come on, well, that sounds something medieval. You know what? Believe it or not, sometimes people with less education, like in medieval times, they know more than we know. We think we know everything, which is a problem. You think you know everything, you realize how much you don't really know. But as long as you think you know everything, you discount all the stuff that you don't know as not being important, as something being ridiculous. But demons exist and demons are active. This thing has seduced more people. You know, back in the 20s, Lenin, when he saw movies, he said at that time, this is the greatest weapon that everyone can have to control people. That was movies. Now, I'm sure there's everything about television, but now we have the internet, now we have phones, now we have AI. So if you think the goal is the battle, the bigger battle is coming. So what are demonics? They are not only these demons, but the demon knows what your weakness is. I was visiting my son Johnny in the rehab the other day, and the phone was, the television was all like pizza and disgusting things, drowned in cheese and all this kind of stuff. And I kept turning away from it. Anyway, my son said, what's not that? I can't even look at that stuff. That is not a problem for me. I can honestly tell you, and I have been to Sicily, I've been to Naples. Naples, they have supposedly the best pizza place in the world. I went there with my daughter Alexandra. She said, Dad, just try it. I said, I don't like pizza. But Dad, this is Naples pizza. I said, I don't care whose pizza it is. So finally, I get pushing a press. I said, okay, I'll take a bite of the pizza. I took the bite of the pizza. They said, what do you think? I said, I told you I don't like pizza, whether it's Papa John's or it's frozen. I don't like pizza. And the demon, my demon knows that. My demon never tries to tempt me with pizza because he knows it's not going to happen. Now chocolate, that's a different story. Chocolate's a different story, okay? But what I'm getting at is your demons, our demons know exactly where our weaknesses are and they keep attacking us with them. What makes them so fierce? What makes the demons so fierce? Your cooperation. Demons are basically saying there's no stronger or weaker. It's your cooperation with the demon that makes them stronger, that makes them fierce. And you want to say, I'm not cooperating. Yes, you are. I know I do. When I get angry, I was upset in the altar before because I didn't get the hot water to enter the Holy Communion right away, and that was demonic. And I apologize because I'm sorry, but so-and-so said. So the demon knows you very well. Let's take another reference. My son, my oldest son, John, when he was growing up, and he would do something and I would nail him. Where's Anastasia? I don't know if she was doing that. I would nail him. You say, how did you know I did that? I said, it's simple. I watched your uncle, my brother, God bless his soul. He did the same thing. I already knew what you were going to do before you did it. So the point is that the devil knows what we're going to do, and therefore we have to try to be more, we have to be prepared. And we've used it before, and I'm sorry, but it says it, but it's true. People that look at pornography, they're going to do something. They're going to do something. I don't care what you call it. I was just looking at it for the artistic value. There is no artistic value in pornography. They're laughing, but they know it's true. There's nothing artistic in pornography. It's disgusting. It doesn't belong for you to see it. Yet you sit and think, well, I thought I could control it. Let me tell you something. I guarantee you, now, I was at a dinner last night, and they sang a song, but my favorite food, those that know me well, know that my favorite food, I could eat it every day of the week if I was able to, but I'm not, is something called kibbeh nega. Now I know that I like this very much. So the point is that, and this happened to me, I was in Lebanon, one of my trips, and I ordered the kibbeh nega at a restaurant. I didn't expect it to be 2 pounds. It was a lot of kibbeh nega. And I'm just eating that kid. I'm trying to me, to throw it away is a big sin, but I love this so much. Okay? And I kept eating until I got myself sick. The point is that the devil knows you want to attract, you want to get Father John's attention. Give him a kibbeh nega, and you got my attention. He knows what your weaknesses are. So people, in fact, I just told somebody who was in the hospital, I said, well, you need to stop vaping. They said, oh, I stopped vaping. I don't vape anymore. I said, that's great. Thank God. They said, I smoke, but I don't vape. Vaping, smoking, it's all the same destructive. And you're doing it. And what's the reason? Some of the reasons, let me see. Here's a question. Why do you think, let's say, you're with your friends, you don't smoke, they're smoking, and you decide to smoke. What do you think might have motivated you? You might not know what I'm looking at, but what do you think might have motivated you to pick up a cigarette and smoke with your friends?
Peer pressure.
What?
Peer pressure.
What?
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure. Oh yeah. I was a kid. I was a kid at one time, believe it or not, I was. And my friends wanted to do something and I didn't want to do it. And they said, oh, you're just a baby, you're just a sissy, whatever. I said, I don't care what you call me. What I am is I have a strength of mind that I don't want to do this and I'm not going to do it. I did try smoking cigarettes once. I did. I'll be honest with you. I never picked it up again. Someone said, oh, you'll get used to it. Why should I get used to something that is destructive to me? Why should I watch pornography, which is destructive to me? Why should I be drinking when it's destructive to me? Why should I do those things that are destroying me? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So the point is the demons know what your weaknesses are and they are using them. And behold, it says in verse 29, and behold, they cried out, what have you myself, I can't do anything. The devil will always beat me, the devil will always take me down, the devil will always destroy me. But with him, I now have not only leveled the playing field, I now have an edge. Call Christ what you want, but he is our spiritual edge. He is the one that not only levels the playing field, but he gives us an upper hand with the devil. So what does Christ have to do with evil? Everything! Everything! Where did the devil come from? You know, let me ask you a question. Hector, I'm coming to you, so think before you give an answer. You ready for this? If you get this, I'll be surprised. Who made the devil? Who made the devil? You right? God made the devil. Did you know that? Oh. What? God made the devil, but he wasn't called the devil at that time. He was known as Lucifer, which is from the Spanish word luz, which we discussed before. So God made Lucifer, but Lucifer was so proud of who he was, the bearer of the divine light, that he thought he was equal to God. How does the devil seduce Eve? What did he tell Eve? You will be like God. You will know what God does. So her pride is what the devil used to seduce her. So what does God have to do with evil? Everything, because God is the antithesis, the opposite of evil. The time of torment. It says that you have come to torment and before the time. How many people in our society, think of the people you know, think of the people that you see, think of the people you watch on the street. How many people in this society, in this community, are tormented by the devil? Plenty. Plenty. Russ, you think, let me ask you a question, Russ. When do you think, do you ever think that maybe, and I don't mean something weird, something very common. When do you think you might see someone who's tormented by the demons? So it's common now. When they drive it. What? I mean, I was going home yesterday. These people are sitting around. I mean, they've got to be going 70, 80 miles an hour on I-4, cutting people off, okay? That right there, okay, is something that the devil can do. Because what happens? There's an accident, or they get a ticket. But the point is that time of torment for some is already here. You don't believe me? Come down next time we have Pride, the gay parade. I'm not getting into people's lifestyle, I'm not. But you look at the way some people are dressed. Are you kidding me? This is gross indecency. Whatever your preference is, I'm not getting into that. But my God, do people have no respect, have no pride for the way they appear? Now, my friend Edward, thank you for being here today, but you're the only person in this room that's 1 month older than I am. Edward and I remember when people got on a plane and they were dressed. You get on a plane now, the shorts are up to here, the flip-flops. Looks like people slept in their pajamas and got on the plane. Have times changed for better? I don't think they have. I think that people should have some sort of self-respect. And people that trust, that's why I mentioned about the gay parade. If you saw the way that people dress themselves, the way they comport themselves, it's absolutely inhuman. It's disgusting. Unless you don't think that people, that humanity, people have a basic humanity, a basic, they're made in the image of God. They should, I'm not talking about wearing a suit, I'm just talking about dressing in a decent manner. So the time for torment for some is already here. The people that are tormented by drugs, by alcohol, by sexual abuse, by sexual addiction, these people are already tormented. And that's when they said to him, have you come here before the time? The time to get over the torment is now. Now. Generation Z, how many of you are Generation Z? Put your hands up. Generation Z, come on, be proud. Put your hand down. Put your hand down. Generation Z, come on. Put it up. Hi. I mean, I'm not good. The Generation Z are smarter than the old people. Generation Z realize there's something missing in their lives. What did they think about this during the pandemic? They had to stay home. They were not able to mix with their friends around the Sunday. But before that, and I've said this before, go up on Orange Avenue Friday or Saturday night, it's packed with people. They're all doing the same thing. They're all looking to hook up. When the pandemic came, they couldn't do that. And they began to think there's got to be more to life than just hooking up with somebody else. So the time of torment for some people is the people that continue to live that life. And it's not fulfilling. I don't waste my time. I don't waste my time with doing things that are not profitable to me. I don't. My time is valuable to me. You might think, well, then because you're old. No, my time is always valuable to me. Time is what life is made of. So for me, I don't want to waste my time doing stupid things. Without it, in verse 34, behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave their neighborhood. Why? Jesus heals the demoniac. The demoniac is right mind, clothed. Why would they ask him to leave? Because the evil ones don't want him there. Why does our society, and I'm old enough to remember this, I remember when I was in school, the teacher, I didn't go to public school, but the teachers were just naturally in their conversation, they would say something about God, God willing, God forbid. Why is that gone in our society? Why are we not able to mention God anymore? In fact, if you're like me, when you see someone on television that uses the word God, it's like, oh my God, they said God. Oh, really? I gotta tell you something, guys. I don't believe it anymore. I'm lucky that I'm still alive, because somebody has popped me off years ago, and I can say what I believe. You don't like it? Too bad. Those who are into evil do not want good. They do not want good. They don't want the benefit of the society. They don't want the benefit of their neighborhood. They don't want the benefit of their friends. Because if you're into evil, you don't want to do good. The neighborhood is quite often the people we hang around with. It's not just the street where you live. The neighborhood, what's your neighborhood? The area of the neighbors. Right now, you're my neighbor. You're my neighbor. Regretfully, sometimes they are members of our own family. Sorry to tell you. Some of you see this room and have family that they don't want you in the church. I've heard from parents call me up. My son is too religious. All he wants to do is pray. What do you want to do about that, Father John? I said, what do you want to do about it? I said, we can try and get him on drugs if you like. Everybody can give him some alcohol. I mean, what is it? Fentanyl, that'll really get him quick. That'll get him out of it. I mean, what is your problem? I said to Father. Your son is trying to do some good. And what do you want to do back? I want it to be normal. I don't want to be normal. Believe me, I don't want to be normal. What is the world normal come from? The norm. I can say, I want to speak to myself humbly, I am not normal. And everybody that knows me well knows that I am abnormal. I am not normal. And I don't want to be normal. I don't. I just want to do Jesus Christ. I don't care. Some people don't like it, too bad. I go to a restaurant, I make a sign of course, I pray for the food. I beg you, if you don't pray before you eat in a restaurant, please, when you go to McDonald's, make the sign of this. You need to pray before you eat that stuff which is called junk food. Why don't you make the sign of cross? Oh, people think that I'm strange. You are strange! Everyone in this room who believes in Jesus Christ, you're already strange. You believe that a man came into the world that his mother had no relation with the man that was supposed to be her husband or was going to be her husband. You believe that this same man died. You believe this same man came alive again, and on top of that, you believe that this man went up to heaven. Oh, you're a strange guy. I gotta tell you, in our society, you are abnormal. Not only accept it, dwell in it, love it, appreciate it. I would rather be abnormal in a sinful society In fact, someone said to me many years ago, they said, Father, why is the news always so bad? Thank God that the good news is mostly bad. You know why? Isaac, since you work for WTV or radio, you should be able to answer this. Why is it positive that the news is usually bad? Can I have you?
You get more money for it.
No. When the news ministry on July 4th, 1976, it was the bicentennial of the United States. I purposely scheduled that way so that it would be a special blessing. I've been on the tell that 50 years ago, I was much more enthusiastic about the bicentennial than I was yesterday. And there's a reason for that. I personally am not happy with the way our society is going. I believe that our society is not going to be. I believe our society is going to the people of the spirits that possess them. I would like to celebrate that. But the only way I can truly celebrate that is when America, which calls itself one nation under God, begins to be the majority of the people in America are living their lives under God. As long as our society is living lives not under God, then those words in pledge of allegiance become nothing more than a footstool dressing. Think about it. I'm older than I was for all of you. I love this country. But I will tell you honestly, I do not like the way that it's going, because I don't want it to be going this way. That is